Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Fall Pumpkin Patch Palette. This is from our monthly watercolor subscription available at jaxwatercolor.com. Delivered handmade watercolor directly to your door. These watercolors are gorgeous, and I am so in love with this palette, aren't you? It is just delicious. It is so pretty and so moody. I've been painting with it all month. I really have. I can't keep my hands off of it. It sits on my studio desk and oh yeah, we have to say hi to the birds, don't we? Hi Sunshine, hi Lemon, hi Pace, hello Blue, hi Snowflake. They're all next to me with my little cockatiel. All right, don't get distracted. Hi Coco. Let's get back to work, shall we? I think we should, because we've got lots and lots of stuff to do. Anyway, this palette sits on my watercolor studio desk and I just keep reaching for it. I didn't even anticipate how much I use these colors, but I am so glad that I sent them to you because you are going to have such a good time with this palette. So before we get started, I did make some new colors that I think you should know about. These are the metallic and pearl sets, now available on jaxwatercolor.com. There is a beautiful silver, there are ice blues, there are Caribbean colors that are also like a botanical palette. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. I've been making them for a full month, and I have everything from gold to these new wines that just came in, and there's a new, today actually, I just released what is it called? I ended up calling one olive, which is like an olive metallic, and it's got like a gold sheen to it. Then there is a pixie pink that is also like a light pink with a gold sheen to it. But you can see these metallics just look great over your watercolor paintings to add that little bit of dazzle to them. They're great for cards, but I use them all the time in my watercolor paintings, especially like landscapes, for adding that little bit of glimmer. I think that's really important to do because you just want something different that makes you stand apart from everything else. Anyway, let's go through this palette and look at the colors, because if you are getting these, you are going to want more of these colors. They are absolutely delicious. I'm finding that I'm using the angular shader available on my website and the wash brush very often. If you recently signed up to the watercolor subscription, you did get the red wash brush as a free gift with your subscription. Signups coming up this next month for November are going to receive a really amazing little travel palette that is like a clear lucite travel palette that you can stick watercolor in. It's got a little mixing area and a clip to clip onto your notebook. It is so cool. Just wait. So if you haven't signed up yet, definitely go and sign up to get that free gift. If you just want to buy the palette, then just message me. I can probably get you guys one if you want one. Anyway, these cards come in the subscription and they are already set to mix, as well as watercolor paper. In this month, I'm giving you some really fun little bookmarks that you can add like ribbon to if you want to and give them away as gifts. I'm giving you some bow hung paper to try, both hot press and cold press. I'm not a huge fan of hot press. I don't use it that much, but it is great for the ink and wash month that we're having right now, because, you know, if your pens don't do well on really rough texture paper, that's a good time to use the smoother papers. I also included a bunch of these practice papers that are 100% cotton. They are primarily one-sided. You can paint on both sides, but there is a texture on one side and a hot press texture on the other side. Still a great paper. I mean, I did the tutorial coming up for the pumpkin patch painting on the practice paper, just so you can see, you know, how good it comes out just even on just a practice paper. And I ended up hanging the practice session on my door, and people have just been loving it. Anyway, get out your cards and let's go ahead and swatch some colors. I'm going to show you some tips on how to mix these beautiful colors to get some really unique blends and to find your way through a palette like this. This is a very moody palette, but I'm finding that these colors, they need to be in every single palette. By accident, I actually put an extra quarter pan in my sample palette here, so don't get alarmed. Those are actually the same color. It's French Sienna, and it is such a beautiful one. This is a natural and versatile pigment for making colors, so you can use it transparent or you can build it up to make it more opaque. It is a PR 102, but if you know anything about pigments, there aren't just one version of these pigments. PR 102 in this one is a French Sienna. It's a natural red iron oxide, but a PR 102 in another kit might be something else. So don't be alarmed if you think you have it and it's not the same. But let's just talk about this cobalt, because there are so many different cobalts. This is a cobalt zinc illuminate, and it is PB72 by Nature, but it is a staple among watercolor artists, and this version is so cool. It has got a very rich blue version of it that is perfect for mixing, but you can still remove it. If you notice, my cobalt blue in this case is very moody, and it's really heavily granulated. That comes with the formula and the way the pigment is both sourced and also manufactured. Golden Hour is such a lovely color. It's made from an ochre. This is from France. I actually had to import it. I always go far and wide to find really unusual pigments. So you're getting, this is actually 3 rare pigments in this color kit so far. Golden Hour is from the French quarries of Jax and Rustrel, nested in a 12-mile-long enclave in the heart of the Luberon Mountains. Golden Hour gives that special warmth and texture to greens. I use it all the time to mix greens, and can be used along with any paint to add warmth or energy to the painting, and you'll see that coming up in the tutorial. Pyrrole Orange is my PO71. It's a light, fast staining, very intense red-orange pigment. I use it as warm undertones. I use it to add a shot of color. It's a great all-around color for your palette. And then there's Tempting Teal, a member of the earth pigment family, but it's a lovely green earth pigment. It's made from 100% natural terra jaune Italian yellow earth from Italy. It's a color that you will never find, but it's from the Verona Hills, and it's dry, purified, and ground using a hammer in a mill. It's a really beautiful color. You're going to cherish the one that you have, and you're going to want more for sure. Wait until you see how these colors mix to get those moody, moody fall shades. I personally love these shades for everything from painting birds to doing landscapes to even doing really moody like backgrounds or images, just giving that like depth of color out of a watercolor. To me, these are like above board watercolors. Not only are they made with honey and have that exceptional light, fast, but vibrant feel to them, but they just re-wet beautifully, and they offer a wide range of effects, as you can see as you start to mix them. So mix a little bit of the cobalt blue and a little bit of the golden hour, and you're gonna see a like deep dive into the world of greens that you've never seen before. It reminds me of some of the old classic painters from the Impressionist era. You know, they had some depth of color from mixing so many colors together that really was just such a beautiful thing, you know, and I really enjoyed it. I always thought it was so much fun to look at those colors and those paintings and see what was going on. So now we're getting some of these background colors by mixing some of the different shades together with the French Sienna. Like the cobalt blue and French Sienna are going to make a lovely neutral. Now you can add a little Tempting Teal to it, and you'll see that in the upcoming pumpkin patch video. When I paint, I'll show you how to mix those to get these luscious colors in the sample. But you can basically add orange to your French Sienna. You can add blue to the French Sienna. You can add the golden hour. They're each one going to produce different effects. So just enjoy and have fun. Now, this card is set up just to show you the transparency and the mass tone of the French Sienna, and to also find maybe a new green that you really want to pay attention to, and a new neutral that you really want to pay attention to. I mixed until I found a really cool green that I'm going to be using in the upcoming painting, and I added that here, going from lighter to, not really that light, but like a little bit medium weight to a darker weight of it, and letting that dry just to get a feel for how it dries, so that I know that I get that like really nice tone and I don't have to go over and keep adding. I kind of use these sample cards to decide how dark I'm going to make the colors and how much color I'm going to add to the paper on the first try without having to do multiple layers, even though the upcoming pumpkin patch video does show me painting multiple layers to get those like creases in the pumpkins and to get the texture. You're going to learn all about that in the next video. So be sure you're subscribed, and if you haven't picked yourself up a palette, definitely sign up for the monthly watercolor subscription, because you are missing out, my friend. These are amazing palettes, all handmade watercolors, non-toxic, and really rare pigments. I'm sourcing them from Italy, from France, from Greece. I mean, wherever they are mining for pigments, I am sourcing. Isn't this French sienna just gorgeous though? It is so pretty and capable of just this very, very light wash that you could wash over the entire background of something if you're doing landscapes. You could also use this to, like if you were going to do some soft roses, you could wash this as the outline. Now I use this French sienna to outline a lot of stuff. So rather than use pencil, I'll take a very fine brush, I'll liquefy this, and I'll do light layers just to put in details and lay out my entire painting with this particular pigment. I use this constantly, and I just use it so much. So if you do want a honey pot version of it, let me know, and I will try and get a hold of the pigment and bring it in as a staple in the watercolor line. So now we're going to be painting more and more swatches, right? This is to find how these colors mix with other things that are in a palette. So whether you have some bright yellows that you want to give them a try and see what happens to them, if you want to just moody up some of your brights from summer and transition them into fall. I kind of feel like we're redesigning a wardrobe every single change of season, but I just wanted to show you and encourage you guys to mix the colors that I send you with other colors that are in your palette to get like something different and unique, and find those colors that you have never discovered before, that you can't buy anywhere, and that might define your style even just so much more than just standard yellow, standard reds, standard blues, because we tend to use them right out of the dish and not want to mix colors together. And that leaves so much. I mean, that leaves so much behind. One day when you get way better at watercolor, you're going to learn that you don't really want to use the colors right out of the box. You want these custom colors. You want to develop palettes full and buy colors that aren't available anywhere else, because that's what makes you unique. And I swear to you, I feel like I am such a brilliant painter when I use them, because they just don't look like anything else, you know? And I don't know about you, but I love these purples. I love the way pinks mix with blues. I just love watching it, and I love playing with it. So the basic idea with the primary mixing color card is to just take something you have, mix it with something new, and see what happens. You can take colors that you like, that you come up with, and put them in the circles. You can do this any way you want to, but it's just a guide to just try and get you inspired to use the new and current kit in with your older colors, so that you can get that fresh update and hopefully find something really, really unique, you know, that is just uniquely yours. Everybody mixing these colors with their own palette is going to come up with something different. So I'd love to see them. Please post these on the group pages, because I just want to see what mixes you came up with. The more unique they are, the more I want to see them. And remember, neutrals are really important. So even if you're just mixing neutrals and coming up with different shades of black, different shades of browns, different shades of grays, that's really important for watercolor, because watercolor can look stark or comic-like if you don't have these depth of field colors, right? You want to have these in your backgrounds. You want to have rich colors in your palette, because if you just have lemon yellow, cobalt blue, ultramarine, phthalo green, and you're just using them like that, it's really, really basic, and you're just not gonna I don't think you're going to get that feel and that emotional curve into your watercolor art that you're looking for. It really comes with mixing colors. So it's great to learn to mix, and it's great to have these cards to just experiment with. Again, something I send out in every watercolor subscription so that you can just play. Even take one of the sample sheets and expand on this. Go up and down, use every single corner of that sheet and just mix colors together and like highlight or put a little star next to ones that you really, really love, and note on there after it's dry how you got there. You know, if you have a color on a page and it dries and you're like, oh, I want to remember this, I keep a whole notebook. Like, I've sold binders in the art studio that hold these little cards just so that you can remember how to get back to all these colors, and you can revisit the colors that we came up with, the palettes that we had, and you know what that meant. And I love doing that because I move so quickly. I often will come up with beautiful purples or pinks or oranges, and then I'll forget about them. And then, you know, I'll be thinking, oh, why didn't I do like, you know, that gorgeous purple that one time? But where was it? How did I mix that? Those cards are really important for that reason. So I just keep them all, and I put them all in these little folders. Anyway, if you signed up recently, you're always going to get a lovely tin on the upgraded watercolor subscriptions. So anybody that is a new sign up gets the tins every time. You also get brushes and paper. There's a lot of premium gifts that go into the new subscriptions. So again, if you haven't resubscribed or canceled your old subscription, then sign up for the new one, or updated your subscription, you wouldn't be getting a lot of the bells and whistles and the new ones because the budget just simply isn't there. We've done so many upgrades since we first started. So if you signed on early and you have a lower subscription level, even though you're getting palettes rather than dot cards, still you're missing out on so much, and I would certainly go and upgrade if you can. These are some of the other things that I've been painting this month with this palette. It's so funny how I used it so much. I did pull some colors from my other palettes as well that I've sent out, but overall this was the base palette for all of these pieces of artwork. Now, these ones were mostly done in a private group that I do. It's a live streaming group, so there's at least one live stream a week, and there are several pre-recorded videos that launch for these gorgeous watercolors. So if you're looking for some inspiration and you like to use Facebook to get it, you might want to sign up for that. It's really inexpensive. It's only around $10 a month, and you get all of these beautiful videos and tutorials. You can ask questions, and you also can join a smaller community of artists all learning at the same time. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Happy fall. I'm so glad you're here, and don't forget, pumpkin patch is next.